Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Julie.
Getting people on here. I'm usually right on time. It was about a minute or two late, I think. And I've
Oh,
got
that's
a
that's probably my fault. Sorry.
minute. Oh no, you're fine. And I just had to lower my volume for the Facebook. Yeah,
Okay.
let's see what's going on here this morning. Oh, you didn't add any of your channels. That's okay.
Um.
If you see right above, it says edit channels or add channels.
Oh yeah.
The,
So,
just
what are we
point
looking to add?
your channels, but it's probably too late now. You can always add your channels when you go on Restream. Sorry, but then did you get the information that to join as a co-host as well?
No.
Okay, I sent that to you. Hi, Victor. Welcome in. Victor is from Sweden, so we've
Hi,
got a couple
Victor.
people coming in. Welcome, everyone. This is Shawn O. Shelton. And I kept calling you Shenton. I don't know why, because Shelton is so close to my son, my oldest son's name.
Okay.
And today is a very special day. I'm going to start it out now, so I will do my best not to have a lot of waterworks.
Mm.
Here I'm going. Today would be, or is, the 13th birthday of the twins. Sorry.
Mm-mm. It's
So,
okay.
yep. Anyway, they're both together now again. So, sorry, didn't mean to get that way. I was doing my best to keep saying you're gonna get through this. You're gonna do it without tears. Yeah, right. Okay. I'm a grandmother. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry.
No.
Anyway, and I wanted you on here because of what you do now, your investigations and stuff like that. But we'll get to that. I
Sure.
met Shawn at Everything Just Rocks. Yes, that's where most of us met, or that is where we're all connected to. So I really appreciate that. Highly intuitive over here. Oh, yeah. He's highly intuitive. He's an empath. Yes, we'll get to you in a minute. I want to introduce Shawn. And we were in Everything Just Rocks for months before we read each other or were separated together. But one of the things that I remember from Shawn is that she played the drum during the Gold Christ Light meditation, and I was very impressed. She kept the beat; it was really good, and she wrote a book. I haven't purchased it. I need to buy it from her so that she can sign it for me. Um, and then what else? And that she is. Let me pull up the book so you can understand where I'm coming from. Okay, here it is. The name of the book is You Are What? Okay, and you can get that will get you to Amazon and get to the book. So I will let her tell you why she wrote that and where that You Are What comes from. And hello, Brenda from Houston area. And Brenda's part of our Tuesday night class. She's coming
Mm.
back in January. She said that, so I'm holding her to it. So
Oh,
okay.
great. Well,
So
thanks, Julie. Thank you for having me on. And I again, my name is Shawn. And I go by Shawn O. Shelton because there are some Shawn Sheltons out there. Most of them are men, but my name is Shawn O. Shelton, so I figure it's better just to have the Shawn O there. Um, and I wrote my book, You're What? during a time, I look back, can I go through the last couple of years? Because it
Yeah,
just kind of
please.
cracks me up. You guys, I don't know if you're like me, but it's like, and I don't know if this comes, I had a serious illness when I was 29. They told me I had a 50-50 shot. It was cancer. Of surviving that, I had a 4-month old and or excuse me, a 14-month old and a 4-year old children at home. And, I just wasn't ready to just buy that bill of goods, and I'm still here. Right. And, so by 2018 though, my kids had some issues, and like all our kids do, we love them through it and try to help them through it. And we, as parents, make good and bad choices. We enable, we don't enable, we try, right? We do the best we can. But anyways, I ended up, I was finishing a master's degree at the University of Oklahoma online. I had actually started it, I think, about that time. And my one son ended up with a head injury in 2018. In 2019, he went missing. He got lured away from town here by somebody. And I knew he was gone about 2 weeks after he was silent. There's a silence, I think, that touches your heart when you're a parent, that you just, as much as you don't want to admit that there's a problem, there's a problem. Now, it didn't stop me from reaching out on birthdays, Christmas, singing songs, trying to, get him to talk and just let me know he was out there, but it never happened. And I knew. And so by 21, he was found. I got a skull and some bones back, and, still my baby, 110%. Love him just like he's sitting there, And but during that time, I had also started a doctorate program in 2021. I wrote a book which published in 23. I just have a drive within me, and I need to breathe. So in all of this, about, I think it was about 21, Julie, when I finally woke up on and I went out to Cave Creek and went to Tina's show, because about 2015 I got slapped upside the head. I've been gifted my whole life, but it was about 2015, I think, that I finally slowed down enough for Spirit to go, boom, hey, we're trying to talk to you. And I kept going, uh-huh, okay. So I started listening, but with losing this boy and stuff, and 21, I started reaching out and trying to see what to do to get to him, more, to know him. And so I've been just doing that. I'm finishing up the doctorate now, and lots happened in those since 2018, especially. It's been just a amazing journey. So, and I hope God's got a lot more for me and plan. I'm kind of on the backside of all the young stuff. So I'm hoping that I can get old and do it with some grace and dignity, and still be here around 30, 40 years, be good.
Yeah. And and you didn't. I mean, didn't get into the details of it all, but the investigation of your son is still going on.
Yes, and I have fought to do that. So I just want to encourage people. Medical examiners have about 5 things they can label a death. So just to give you some information, they found a rope. They found my son's remains in a wash, set down against the back of the wash, a very flimsy tree, and a rope. But my gut, because I have some law enforcement experience, I was a police officer for 14 years, my gut said nope, because I know this kid. Yeah, I don't care, on his darkest day, that wasn't his option ever. And he would tell me that. That's not an option. And so I knew, and sure enough, I had to fight, you guys, because the medical examiner listed my son's death as a suicide. The noose was found way way up far away from him. The rope was kind of slung over the tree, from what they can tell, right? And then, and I did go out and look at it myself. I went to the scene when they finally let me know. I met up with the officer. I went out to the scene, and I'd already talked to my son on the other side, and I already knew with all my heart. They found his skull. And I'm sorry if I'm very graphic. When you're in
You,
police work, dad is dead, and you learn a lot about it, and you see it in a lot of different ways. So I probably talk about it like I'm cold. I'm not cold. It's a reality, and I've dealt with it on many in many ways. So I can talk, because my son's skull was found about 40 feet from where the place he was sitting was. And so the medical examiner, with no note, no other information, because there was some body fluid on the rope, said, "Oh, it's a suicide." Well, I said, I did call the medical examiner, because you can imagine I went, "Yeah, I don't think so." So I called and said, "That's it? That's your whomping bit of evidence that somebody whose body sat out in a wash for until it completely decomposed? Of course there's body fluid on this rope. Can you say it's neck body fluid, or could it be ankle body fluid? Could it be wrist body fluid? It's the same fluid." So how do we get to that determination? I would have really preferred that they keep it an unknown death, a homicide, something that's questionable, but they didn't. And so I had to go to bat for him with an agency that is inundated with missing people, as not necessarily as smaller, but up north it's just harder for them to get a lot of stuff done. They have a tremendous amount of missing people up in that area, a lot. I think it's as much as what we have in a highly populated area, which is just so weird to me.
Yeah.
And
And where was it approximately?
it's up north, around oh gosh, I'm not, it's up Snowflake
Okay.
area.
Okay. Thank you.
And so I went up there, I spoke with them, and I have fought and fought, and fortunately they've kept it open. And now they have agreed with me that they do not consider his death at his own hands. So, and I know who the players are. We do know who the players are. You have to realize, though, you guys, is I'm looking for some justice for my son, but I also understand that in our world, you have to have a lot of evidence sometimes to make a really great case. We may have good evidence, but it may not be enough to make a great case, if that makes sense. And I would prefer they not prosecute anybody without great evidence, okay? Because once you prosecute and they're tried, you're done.
Yeah.
And so and here's the bottom line: if I can't get that done here on Earth, I believe in the big guy, so the big guy will take care of that when he's ready, right?
Right.
So
Well, and the stigma that doing what he did, or they did, um, stays with him, and so that black mark is on his soul or their souls.
absolutely, 100%.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm. And I refuse to allow that to. I tell people, listen, the death, especially of a child, the death of a loved one, those things can destroy you, but don't let it, because we're okay. I think the beauty of what we do, Julie, is that we are able to understand there's so much more. There's
yes,
so much more. And I will have my drawer. One of the funniest movies I remember is Jim Carrey, I think it was, opens up, God comes and sees him, and he opens up his drawer, and it goes like a building, bigger football field size drawer that he opens up of things he gets to talk to him about, And I'm like thinking, oh my God, that's me. It's gonna be me. And so, I don't want that. I want my drawer to not be quite that big, and I want to be able to be, and I want to keep my child's life alive for good reasons, not because I'm bitter, not because I'm hateful, not because I want justice. It's not mine to call when that happens. There's a higher power for that.
yeah. And you did what you needed to do in getting it classified as not a
Well,
suicide.
the sad thing is they have not done that yet. They
Oh,
can't. But I have the request I've made of the police department that has this, the agency that has it, is that once you guys are ready to call it or not call it or make a charge or whatever, the only thing I request is that you guys leave it open, if you can, as a homicide, and get the medical examiner to change it if he will. And he might not. But the problem you have with suicide, when they give your child or anybody a listing of suicide, once they get to a closure thing, where if they left it a homicide, it would remain open as a cold case. Okay. And it
right.
can remain open as a cold case for the rest of its life and be just fine sitting in a box on a shelf getting dusty. But once they list it as a suicide, the chances of PD ever going back and looking at it again will be nil. And that's the hard part for me, because I have to be able to let go of that pain, knowing what I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm telling you. We got to get through this with some grace and beauty and love. And it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. I understand and stuff.
Excuse my nose, you guys. It runs all the time. Allergies.
And Victor saying Truman Show is brilliant. Jim Carrey is brilliant. Painter, I guess that's what that meant.
And artists.
And
Yeah,
artist nowadays loves his work. Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. So everything's changes. So that's what's happened in the last few years. So 7 years basically since you were talking about 2018. So how did this come about that you are an author of You Are What? And what do you mean by You Are What?
You're a what? Because,
You are what?
what I
Yeah.
began to notice as I became more able to talk about feeling like I had stuff going on and things were happening, and you try to explain that to some people, and then you become then you know it. Then you just know. I'm to a point now where I really don't care if you believe me, you don't believe me, you enjoy what I do, you don't enjoy. Everybody, you can't be everybody's hot chocolate, right?
Right.
You gotta love yourself where you're at. And so I just would get a kick out of people going, "You're a what?" And so you get two kinds of people. You get the people who go, "Oh, that's awesome. Listen, this happened to me when I was a kid. This happened to me yesterday. This happened to me." Those people open up and embrace you. And other people go, "You're a what?" Hi, Jim. I've got to go now. Thank you for talking to me. I got to go. So that's where the title came for me, is you kind of get two sides of the coin. Oh, okay. So You're What was my title, but it's full of a lot of, it's a very, you guys, it's my first book. And to be honest with you, I wanted so bad to get it out that I just did my very best to talk as if I'm talking to you right now. And so if you want a really classy book, it's not that classy book. It's more like it's more like this. So, and I want it to be that way. And probably if I write again, it'll be that. I hope to do a couple more books. I have some on my mind right now, but I really need to take that breath, you guys, and have that balance and deal with my son, deal with, finishing my doctorate. I'm about 2 steps away from completing my doctorate in psychology with an emphasis in criminology, which I will veer over and use in parapsychology. So,
And I did attempt to upload the videos, but Restream wouldn't take it. So we'll see what we can.
oh, I'm so
I
sad.
know, I know.
That's okay.
I work because I do see yours, and um, sacred. The YouTube is
SageHeartSoul.com.
Sage Heart Soul.
And you guys, you can look it up under Shawn Shelton, and I think it'll come up. I have
Yeah,
some other sites out there that I've been working on this for a few years with different things. My native site, I had up, I still have it, but I don't do much with it right now because, as you can tell, I probably don't have time. And but these Sage Heart Soul is where you'll find these videos. And I do have a website, www.sageheartsoul.com. If you'll go in, you'll see a lot of the work I do, because I do go out and investigate as well. I'm very I really love that. I just love it. And I feel like when I show up, I always get something, which tells me that it's not me, you guys, right? It's not
yeah,
us. They see me though. And so they give me something. I don't, sometimes I walk away with nothing, but it's very rare that I walk away not with a picture or something. And I have a tendency to be able to see, I'll do, I'll take a picture and I can see there's something there. And when I say that, you're going to look at the picture and go, "There's nothing there, Shawn." No, there's something there. And so I'm not good at editing. I'm not good at all the wonderful things. I don't have 100, people, film crew with me. It's me. So when I come back in, I do the hunt and peck, start, stop, start, stop. Okay, I'll click that, start, stop, start, and then I'll brighten it so you can see it. So those are the images. They're not great, but I love for people to just look at them and see if they see what I'm seeing. And so if you go to the website, you can see a lot of the pictures on front. If you go up to the three little, I don't know what they call it, the three little lines, and click on that and go to links, I've started putting things in my links too. So you'll find all those videos there as well.
yeah. And I keep returning to you're what? You're a what?
Mhm.
So what are you to
I'm a
bring out that book?
Oh, well, I guess I'm a psychic medium. That's what I tell people. And okay, here's where you're going to get the real Shawn, okay? So I have wonderful people that I work with who are this, and they're Claire this, and they're Claire that, and I can barely remember the Claires, all right? All I know is I show up, I do my thing, and I get my answers. I get some kind of feedback. And when I sit down with a person, you won't hear me talk about all the fancy smashy stuff. I just sit down and start trying to read you and see what we can get. And I'm pretty successful. So you're a what came from that. But here's the thing. You're a what goes all the way back to being a very young child and having trauma occur in my life. Okay. As most mediums and psychics and people who have had that part of their brain woke up, anybody at any time in their life can have that part of the brain woke up, have, okay? And I didn't realize it because, life gets in the way. I'm trying to deal with my trauma. I know things happen around me once in a while, and you have those little aha moments, and you just keep walking, not going to deal with that. Don't know what that was. I'm not doing that today. But, after divorce and life has happened for a while, and a near-death experience, and a lot of things begin to happen. And like I said, about 2015, Julie, should I just tell the story? Here's what happened. Here was my aha moment that went, hey, pay attention. We're talking to you. Okay. My mom's Native American. We've got Celtic, Irish blood, and all these folks, you guys. I don't care what part of the world you're from. They all have this stuff going on. They just call it something different. Okay. They all do. And so anyways, I am in a, keep in mind, I work for a city. I'm in line doing customer service. It's a quiet morning. I'm the only person on my line. There's a long counter, and there's another counter that goes down. I'm using my hands down the side, right? Big room. And usually this room's full of people. We do turn-ons, turn-offs, take bills, take care of complaints, blah, blah, blah. Credits over in another set of cubbies in the same room, but they're not visible, right? So I stand in there. And all of a sudden, you guys, I have my head down, right? Because it's quiet. The girls took off to get food. We were so quiet. It was that weird morning. So everybody's like, oh, I'm going to run and get a sneaky snack. Okay, go. I'll watch. No problem. So I do this. And all of a sudden, I get hit in the face with this beautiful, intense smell of flowers. I'm talking about roses that if I had walked into a room that was a 10 by 10, it would have just inundated you. You know how the old flower shops used to be if you walked into them to buy flowers. Now these beautiful flower shops just full of these fragrances. That was it. It was intense. And I'm thinking, well, who did I miss getting flowers this morning, right? So I go walking, looking around, looking for bouquets. I said, hey, did somebody get flowers? Nobody got flowers. They're all looking at me like she's lost it. She's the Fruit Loop this morning. So, okay, no problem. So I go back to my line, and now my face is kind of starting to hurt. And I'm like, what is going on? And my nose is starting to run. Well, this real pretty little gal comes walking in. She's got a little one with her, a little baby. She comes walking up to the counter, and I said, can I help you? And she said, yeah. Again, keep in mind, this should be a busy room, and it's not right now. It's just her and me. And so there was one other person across, but we weren't even talking to each other on her doing her thing. And so I said, can I help you? And she said, yeah. She said, I need to pay a bill or whatever. And I started trying to help her. And I said, excuse me, just a minute. I said, I have to blow my nose. Now my face is hurting. My eyes are watering. My nose is running. It's just really intense. Okay. And I'm trying to, be like I'm doing here today. Excuse me, that thing. And so I come back to her. I said, I am so sorry. I'm trying to focus. I said, but I just smell these flowers right now. And she goes, I said, it's really weird. And she goes, no, I smell that too. I said, it's almost like somebody's trying to tell me something. And I looked right at this little girl and I said, out of the blue, did you lose somebody recently? She goes, I just buried my grandpa last week. And I got chills. And I said, oh, your grandpa walked in right before you. Now, isn't that funny that out of all the years of not really acknowledging, knowing exactly what happened right there, I knew exactly what that was. And I said, I want you to know that your grandfather, and she started to cry. I said, your grandfather didn't leave. He came in right before you. She said, what do you mean? I said, that's the flowers you're smelling. So I want you to take with this from this statement today. I promise you. I said, did your grandfather love flowers? She goes, he did. And he had a ton at his funeral, and he loved planting them. I said, whenever you smell that, he's letting you know that he hasn't gone away. He's not far from you, and not to worry. He's going to be around. So as your life goes on, And you, again, I'm like laughing about this because I think back on it now, not being prepared to say these words to her. I said, as you live your life and you smell that smell, that's going to be him checking in on you from time to time. So never think he's gone. And so I said, can you do me one more favor? She goes, yeah. I said, can you stop crying? Because people are going to think I'm being mean to you and not helping you. she goes, she goes, yes. And so I helped her and she was so happy, you guys, the joy that I saw on this little girl's face. And here was the take all from us. She walked out of the room and the flowers walked out of the room. And my nose stopped running for a minute.
But
And
now
from
you
then
have
on,
allergies all the time, huh?
oh gosh, and now I have so much. I keep journals. I write down everything because I want to write more books, and you forget things. You forget little nuances that happen when you practice this or the day you ran into that. And even with Cody, I just had the most amazing experience when so you got Julie, you tell me when to hush and
You're
tell me
good.
what you want to
You're
do
good.
here.
Yeah.
I had the most amazing experience. So imagine now, you've heard me talk. I know about death. I've seen it in a lot of forms. None of it's real pretty. It's kind of smelly a lot of times. It's no fun and it's real painful for people. Okay. And so I knew if they ever came to my door and told me they'd found my boy, that I was going to have to suck it up, buttercup, and know that I was going to be okay. So they came to the door. I was in the bathroom and I'd seen this detective before. And my little grandson comes running in and goes, Nana, the police are here for you. And I went, oh crap, what'd I do? I didn't, because you don't want to go there. The only
No.
reason police are going to be looking for me is probably for that. But I'm just thinking, oh, what'd I do? So I come out, he brings me out there. Here's my Nana. So what do you think I did? Anyways, they came on in and I saw her. And, as I think on that, I knew then, what I was probably going to hear. So, because I had done DNA and they put it in a database and I had done the things I needed to do in case they found Cody as a John Doe, they could figure out who he was. And so I went into the living room and they told me that they had found his remains. And we talked for a minute. And you guys, I'm telling you, I believe right then I had an out of body experience because I remember feeling like I was standing beside me, watching this woman, watching me give out the most guttural cry I have ever cried. I
Yeah.
knew. I already knew. I was prepared. I knew. Okay. So again, I think when we have those moments, it really touches our brain. Okay. And so I must have been more in that week. I must have been very, very, very open. So imagine this 2 days later, or a day later, I can't even remember. I have to go to the store because you still have to live, right? I've got the information I need. I'm waiting. I have to wait till the medical examiner gets done with him. So there's some stuff I have to wait before I can figure out how to bury him or do whatever we're going to do. And I go to the store. So, and I'm at this point and I tell people, listen, you're going to have moments when you're just fine and moments when you're crying. It's the way it is, and
Mhm.
you won't even know why. I have days today, you guys. I'm still happy. I'm a happy person. I'm walking through the house. I'm good. I get in the car, something happens, and all of a sudden I got a tear running down my face. I tell people you have to learn to live with your new normal. It's
Yeah.
not ever going to be like it was before.
Nope.
It's the new normal and you just deal with it and be okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Have those moments. Maybe at that moment, Cody's touching me. Maybe he's so close to me that I feel him. Right.
Yeah.
So I allow myself and I want you to allow yourself to have those moments. But anyways, I go to the grocery store down the road. I go to park and I start crying. So I stop, I get, compose myself. I need to go in and get my rotisserie chicken because I'm making, chicken enchiladas, whatever. I'm trying to be happy here. Okay. So I walk in because if anybody who knows me, I usually walk in with a smile on my face wherever I am, even if my life sucks right then. That's just who I am. Okay. I would rather be happy than dwell on that negative. And, I went into the store and I passed this very tall gentleman. Excuse me, you guys. And he is a really sweet guy. I see him today still. And it's kind of funny. It's like he's blocked a little bit from me as far as knowing me, and it's okay. So I walked past him, and he's the guy who will go and do a cleanup on aisle 9. He's got the big cart and the mop and all the goodies go on it. And I walk past him and I say good morning and keep walking. And oh, thank you. Thank you. I hear that I have people, my folks with me, a lot of folks with me, and a lot from the native side. Thank you so much. And so I go on through the store, right? And I walk, now I pass him. I say, good morning. He says, good morning. We pass each other. I go down to the rotisserie chicken. This is a big store. Go down to the rotisserie chicken. They're not ready. 15 minutes. Okay, no problem. So I go walking through the store. I get halfway through the store, look over by the milk, which is clear in the back. And there's this gentleman again. Oh, okay. So I smile and keep walking. I head on over all the way to the pharmacy, which is in the farthest side of the store, in the farthest corner from the rotisserie chicken. Okay. And I'm standing there and I'm looking down, I think at Excedrin or something. I'm looking down, and all of a sudden I hear and I see a female in my mind. I know that sounds crazy. I, and she says, you have to stop and talk to him. You have to talk to him. And I see her and I hear her and I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, talk to who? Hello. And she keeps going, and I can see her. I know that sounds, I don't know how to explain it. You guys, I don't have the big words for all this. So she's talking to me, and I'm seeing her pace back and forth, and she's got on baby blue, this really sharp baby blue outfit. Her hair's a certain way. I see her. I don't see her face totally clear, but I see her hair and her style and, her flair. And I said, talk to who? And I look up, and guess who's over there? The tall man with the cart, and he's mopping. I go, I can't do that. I don't know him. What are you talking about? Talk to him. He's going to think I flipped my bonkers. And so I'm trying to talk to her, and I just have to leave. And I go walking by him, and I think I did one of these, hi, and kept going. And so I get to the middle of the store. She's in my head. She's talking to me. Please talk to him. Please tell him I'm okay. Please tell him I'm okay. I'm here. Talk to him. You got to talk to him. I said, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't know him. I do that if you ask me to, but I don't just usually come up to you and start blaring it out. So I get to the middle of the store, and I finally say to her in my mind, ma'am, listen, if I see him again, I'll try. I make it my best shot not to see him again, right? So I'd go down and get my rotisserie chicken, keep my little side blinders on, keep walking, get to the self checkout. This is hot. This is like the middle of June, the end of June. We're already into June, maybe July 1st this day. And it's hot, okay? And I'm sweating. I'm trying to get out of there. And she's still, I'm like, you got to talk to him. You got to stop and talk to him. I'm like, man, I don't do that. I get all the way out to the truck. I put the groceries in, and I slammed the back door, and I said, I will go talk to him. She's not leaving me. This little spirit's not leaving me. Not. I go back in. I go up to this very nice woman at the self-help checkout stand. I said, ma'am, you got a very nice man here who cleans up stuff for you. Oh, that's so-and-so. I said, would you mind calling him up to the front? She goes, is everything okay? I said, oh yeah, everything's great. You got to talk to him in my head, Yeah, it's great. Okay. So he comes up. It takes him 4 or 5 minutes. I probably called him from the back reaches of the store. I felt bad, and he's older. He gets up there, and I'm over at Starbucks. I said, hey, I am so sorry to drag you up here. My name is Shawn. I said, I know this is going to sound totally loopy, but I need to give you a message. Are you open to hearing an odd message? And he goes, yeah. So, and he's really tall, you guys. I mean, he's got to be 6'5". I'm not kidding. So I'm looking up at him going, well, this is what happened. And I said that I'm going to tell you some information. There's a woman with either a C or a K name trying to tell me I need to talk to you. And I know you can't see her, but I can. She's in here, and she's been with me in the store the whole time telling me I've got to talk to you. And I said, I need to tell you about her a little bit. So I said, she's about this tall. She's got on this outfit. And I said, she's a very sharp dresser. She doesn't just she likes classy clothes. You can tell, you know what I'm saying? She's just one of those little girls. You can tell she loves classy clothes. And I said, and she looks adorable, and she's pacing back and forth. And I said, and she has a hairstyle like this. She has a hairstyle that's black and it goes underneath. It doesn't flip out. It's very well done, and kind of a bob, you know. And so I'm telling him, and I go on and tell him the story. And I said, I think she just wants you to know that she's here, that she appreciates everything you did for her. I think she passed away maybe from cancer. And so I said, and finally I looked at him, and I know he's going to tell me no, right? I look up at him. Does any of this resonate? He looks at me and he goes, it does. I went, are you serious right now? And so he goes, yes. He said, you're talking about my wife, my first wife. I lost her a couple of years ago. She died from cancer. And the way you're telling me about her, and her name was, I can't remember a C or K name. And he said, and the way you're talking about her and her clothes is exactly her. I said, well, she stepped forward apparently to have me talk to you, and I tried not to. Okay. And so that's in the book. And I don't even know where I was going with that, Julie, but I'm just trying to tell you, when you're in those moments of deep sorrow, deep pain, trying to keep it all together with that smile on your face, they're still with us. And I must have been so open at that moment that she went, hey, I'm taking my shot, you know, and I'm going
And
to talk to him.
your energies align too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tina's saying she knows, she feels where you're coming from. She went through it too, and it is totally different from what it was before. So,
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Anything I thought I was going to ignore back in the day, I never ignore now. Because now I stop and listen and go, is somebody trying to talk to me? You know, just in case. Because I can't. Here's the thing that's different for me, you guys. I don't know how you all, you know, I listen to people. I do this and I'm this and I'm this and I do it this way and this is my sign and this. I've had so many things happen to me that it's like I'm a hot mess. I'm not sure exactly how it all happens all the time. So instead of worrying about what to call it, what it is, I'm getting better at those things. I am learning. I want to know about them, but I don't worry. I just keep it on a real simple term that, hey, they're talking to me today. I can't tell you why. And you know, I hear sometimes people go, well, it shouldn't be like this. It should come across. No, I'm
no,
going to tell you something. Don't let anybody do that to you, because nothing I do is normally the same. There, except the little signs that they give me to tell me this is me. I'm trying to talk to you. They're getting good at that, because I try and tell them, listen, don't confuse me. I'm already a mess. Okay. I need you to tell me I'm working on this. Okay.
yes,
And so they do, they do with that. But you know, I'm so excited, I think, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited about having that gift, about God. And if you're not a God believer, whoever your spiritual whoever is, I am okay. But I love Corinthians. I think it's Corinthians 1 verse 11, 12 really did so much for me, because when I opened, because I asked, I said, can you guys just help me? Because you know, you get in your ears, you get the people, the humans going, this is evil. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You know, so I said, you know, can y'all help me? I need to, and I read the scriptures. I read them almost every day. I open to whatever page, because I feel like that's where I'm supposed to. I don't have time to sit down and read the whole thing. I've been through it a couple of times, but I can't do it now. And I went there, and First Corinthians, I opened it up one day, and it said, hey, I gave some of you this gift, and I gave and these are the kinds of gifts he was talking
yes,
about.
yes,
And you know what? Since that day, it's evil. No, it's not. I don't even care. I'm
yeah.
good.
And I want to put this up. There he goes. Uh, Victor says the name was Red Hawk, is the chief
Thank
that he
you.
saw.
Thank you, Victor. You know, it's funny, because that's another thing. I'm learning from you guys today, okay? And I love that, because for me, I know they're with me, and I can feel them, and I feel kind of different things, but I can't really put names to them. We don't worry about it, I guess. I guess my folks and I, we just don't worry about it. I just know I have them, right? So it's nice to hear a name. It's nice to hear a name. So that's great. Thank you.
And let's see what Tina has. And she's a believer. And Tina
God,
comes in. I'm not sure. I know she's East Coast, but I can't remember exactly where. But yeah, we have people from Harley is from Massachusetts. She's
oh, I
in
love
here.
that.
And some of these are from our Tuesday night class, and we'd love you to come again. Always
Well,
love
and
to see you.
I try to pop in, you guys. I do. I work till 6 o'clock at night, and my sweetheart and I've been together 20 years. We have 21 grandbabies. We have 4 greats. We have 2 mamas that just turned 90 years old. So you can imagine that there's always somebody that needs something somewhere.
Okay, South
And I try
Carolina.
to get on. So I do when I can, though, for sure, Julie, because I miss, that's my place where I come and it can just be me for a minute and do my thing. So
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
and that's mainly, Monday. We got Monday night classes with Tina, and this coming one will be this Monday will be the red light cabinet, and she has 4 cabinets, 4 or 5 cabinets these days, and so it's not just one, and everybody's watching paint
And
dry.
And for me, that's my one night I haven't been showing up too often, and not because I don't want to, but because I can only put so much in my basket, if that sounds,
Yes,
balance. I need
yes.
balance, and especially trying to finish this doctorate right now, you guys. I have 2 more things I have to do before somebody gives, and one of them is to do the end of the project. So when you do these big projects, you write 3 chapters on what you're going to do and why, and then you have to go in and do all your conclusion and put all that together in that 4th chapter, and then do an argument. And listen, as much as I love to talk, when they put me up there, oh my goodness, I stutter, I can't think. It's just terrible. So I have to get through those 2 things, and then maybe they'll give me that graduation. So keep your fingers crossed.
I was going to
Thank
say
you.
the other thing is more online stuff. To me, it has helped me. I feel more
Oh yeah.
confident in front of people.
Absolutely. I
So
always tell people, I try and tell my folks, if you want to reach out to me, you want to have a read, we don't have to be in front of each other, except we can do it I had one of my best reads, you guys, on a telephone one morning with a girl who was going to meet with me. Then she wasn't going to meet with me. Then she was, and all of it was, again, it's evil. It's not evil. It's and I was trying to work with her, and I never force people. I said, hey, I will never force you to do this. I will tell you I love you. If you decide you want to read, let me know. If you don't, it's okay. And by God, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a text. Where are you? I need to talk to you this morning. So Friday morning, thank God, I get on the phone. I'm on this phone 3 hours with her,
oh
and we do one
my,
of the best reads I've ever done, because she had to get past the voice in her ears. Okay. And
yeah,
she was so thrilled when we got done. She had her life touched by who needed it. That's what I'm telling you.
yeah.
Nothing is. I can set up the best office I want and sit there all by myself. All I got to do is walk out, go to a store, go to a gas station, give a guy a $5 bill and pray with him, do whatever, and I will have some really amazing thing occur.
Yeah. You just never know. But getting out is a very important thing. Staying stuck inside doesn't get you anywhere. It really
No,
doesn't.
no. Well, and as we can tell by that spirit that came to me in the grocery store, they aren't going to let you. Okay, I've never experienced that before like that, and I haven't experienced it since. Doesn't mean I won't, but this little gal saw her opening, and by God, she took it, and she
Yeah.
was not take. I would have gone home with her yelling at me. I already know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not happening.
And the way you did it, I mean, calling him up to front is scary enough to
Oh, it's
me.
terrifying. Terrifying.
I would have
I would.
walked back to him and said, in a quiet corner, and said, I just want to. But
Yeah.
calling him up there, to me, that was a huge step to take. So
Well,
congratulations.
I had no idea what I was going to get out of that. But when I had the deer in the headlight looks, and I said, "Does any of that resonate with you?" I expected to hear no, and you're a crazy idiot. Get out of here.
But he was
But
still standing there.
well, I was, and my team knows, and I try to be good to my team. I try to remember, you guys, I trust you. I don't trust me some days. And that's the hard part. That's the part I have to work on, is trust me. So for me to look at him and go, and be probably one of the most emotionally vulnerable times of my soul's life, and stand there in front of somebody else waiting to be slammed to the ground because I'm telling them something ridiculous to most people.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you? Please God, tell me it does. So I was thrilled to death when it did, and that probably did so much in a way to make me go, I don't care anymore about this. I just don't care.
Yeah. And I know you've heard stories about other people going up to others, but
Yeah.
to hear your story, and I know your story was much earlier than some of the more recent ones. So it encourages me when I get something like that.
Right. Right. Never take anything for granted. And you know what, you guys? You never know. You never know, even if you're just having that excited moment where you're looking back at, like, I'll go out and investigate scenes, right? Different scenes and stuff. And I work on missing people. So you never know when you're going to get that little nugget, that little tiny nugget of gold that you had no idea you were going to get. And it lasts just a moment, but what it does for you, what it does to make you okay, and what you did for spirit or what you did for somebody else's life that day, you can't, there's no money on this earth that's going to change that.
No, no. And it's a great thing. And Harley, she does investigations, okay? She really does. And a lot of it has to do with being a police officer. And she also, you process scenes or,
No, what I do, you guys, and right now to so
I
let me just
mean,
talk about that
you're
because I
14 years of police
yeah,
work.
as a 14, I was in patrol my whole time. I was a dare officer for the last couple of years, but when I was out there too, I'll tell you a funny story. Oh, this happened a lot. My police department used to pay guys 10% to go out and work as a police officer back in the day. And I was a police officer quite a few years ago now, okay? And all of a sudden, the police department said, well, we're not going to do that anymore. We just want you to volunteer. So all the guys that were getting paid 10% quit. So I wasn't going to get paid 10%. And of course, it was at a time when it still has its bias, if I can,
Yeah,
and within its own walls. And so I said, hey, I'd like to do that. So I didn't make 10%. I went out there and did that. But, I learned a lot about investigating crime scenes, doing it right, getting some of them wrong, having film not turn out on a homicide one time that I felt so bad about because I was learning to use a digital camera because they weren't a thing yet. Okay, that's how old I am. So anyways, but, you learn so much. And the one thing I want you to know, and I think I feel this way with what we do, is every time I went and collected that evidence and I wrote that paper and I took those pictures and I had to use that for evidence to maybe change somebody's life, maybe make somebody have some justice. Okay. But I told that victim's story. I was one of the last people on this earth to share their last moments and tell their story. They couldn't do it. And they counted on me to do it, which doesn't that sound a little bit familiar? Aren't
yeah,
we doing that? Aren't we trying to tell the story for them on the other side to a person here, or allowing a person here to ask their question and see if we can get an answer? I feel like I still do that, if that makes sense. And what I started doing, because I don't know, you guys, I feel very much, and Tina Escoto is a wonderful person. She was on Julie's show, I think last week or the week before. But Tina has been a great mentor for me, and she has faith in me. And I feel like police work probably was a stepping stone, if that makes sense, for where I'm at today.
exactly.
And I feel like I don't want to not turn those stones over because it's in me. It's part of who I, even for my son. I sat down with my boy after they came to me a couple of days later when I was calm, and he told me some of the most amazing things that I have been able to verify. And that's my other signature for why I knew this was not a suicide. He's trying to tell me something. When I drove up there and I turned out of the little town that heads up to the next little town, as soon as I got on that road, I looked at my sweetheart and said, I think I'm going to throw up. My stomach just turned. And it was related to things that my boy had shown me. It was related to an intense feeling my son was experiencing at that moment, I have no doubt. And a little bit later, I was past it. I get car sick, so that's one of the reasons I drive, right? So I don't get car sick. But I mean, literally, and this was instantaneous, like, whoa, what just happened here, And all of that, I think police work had to be. being a trauma victim, being a victim of sexual trauma as a child, growing up through that, not having a lot of people to tell about that. I had a horse. I told him everything. I know he's around. He's got to be. He was my best
Yep.
friend. And finally getting old enough and grown enough and mature enough and living through that process, because there weren't really great avenues back then to deal with that. They're not much better. I don't know today. They probably are, but it was tough. And knowing that things were happening even then to me, but just not really understanding, because I was trying to deal with my own trauma, right? My own pain, my own grief. And so I think all of that, and then living through the death of a child, let me tell you what, we should never have to live through the death of a child. I don't care who you are. And I don't care if you lose that baby in utero. I don't care. When you lose those little fetuses, when you lose those little babies, when you lose those children, I don't care if you're 110 and they're 85. Those are your babies, 110%. And it's just terrible. It's a hard pain to get through. But I think all of that's led me to where I am today. So about 2 years ago, I said, well, okay. So, because when it happened with Cody, right, it was a wake-up call. Shawn, look at what you got. And I took it to another spiritual person that happens to be related to me through my sweetheart. She's not my blood, but she's definitely gifted. I took her his picture. I took her his artwork, a piece of artwork to give her that she could have that as a gift, and said, can you read this for me? And she did. And it was amazing how many things she said crossed with how many things he had told me. It was my it was my way of getting some verification that because I'm learning. I'm like all of us. Every time we do this, it's nice when we get that part back, that reinforcement back that, hey, you're on the right track. You got this. So when I went up there and I went to the crime scene, I ended up going also, I showed the officer what I had. That's when I showed the officer what I had. And he said, that's interesting because this kind of coordinates with this and this and this and this. I'd seen a car. That car was on the property. It wasn't the exact car, but it was what I was talking about. Because, again, I'm interpreting what I think they're telling me, what he's trying to show me, what they're trying to say to you. And it may not come out of my mouth, out of my brain process, the exact way he's saying it. Okay. But lo and behold, that vehicle shows up. So what I do now, one of the cases I have tried to go out and do a little work on is a little gal back in Florida. She was 14 when she walked away from her home to take a walk late at night, which was apparently a thing she did. I don't judge anybody. You know where you live, and you know your kids.
Yep.
And she never came home. And so I've worked on that. And I really did feel fortunate here a few months ago because of some of the information I've shown. The detective another detective that has been handed the case did call me and said, I totally believe in what you do. And I said, well, I'm thankful. So what I try to do, you guys, with her is I try to videotape. Don't laugh at me. Okay. I'll try to video myself and I'll set up a digital recorder. I'll get my boom box out. I will do everything I can. And then I will start asking questions. Yes and no. I'll try to break it out into yes and no kind of questions. And I'll use my, for me, it's a Negrophonic app. There may be some better apps out there. I'd like to get my hands on Hope. Hope has a pretty good app out there. He's able to digitalize it down into one voice, which is amazing. But I do what I can do, right? I just do the best because my team's guide me. God's guide me. I got this. I'm going to do what they give me the equipment to do. And so I do. I set everything out. And you know how those sweep? When you're using an app like that, it's sweeping. So what I get from that, I'll take and I'll transcribe as best I can and I'll save it. And what I'm doing now is I will upload that into the police departments. Usually they have if I don't have a detective to contact, and you won't because we're mediums, and they go, okay. So what I'll do is I'll just load it up and I'll send it to them, the digital transcript and the digital thing. And I'll tell them, listen, I'm a very little enterprise. I don't have fancy equipment to break this all down. I do the best I can. I use really good earbuds when I'm listening. I use them both so I can hear as much as I can. But if you can get this to somebody who can slow it down and take out the noise, they're going to hear more than I'm hearing. And that's the truth. I just did one for a little gal in my area that's gone missing that my heart is just
Oh,
full of her. And so I am trying to work with that. And I just now did that for her a couple of weeks ago. But here's the thing, you guys. Let me, can I keep talking, Julie? I'm
yes,
sorry, you
you're
guys.
fine. No, we're good.
Um, so with her, and I'm like I said, I learn every time I do this, I learn a little something new, a little nuance, a little better way to do it, and sure, one of these days when I get more money and I'm making a little money off a book or something, I hope to be able to update my equipment and do a better job. But to be honest with you, I'm okay doing it this way, because when people come back at me and go, what, she probably edited that. You're lucky I can find out how to brighten up a video. Okay. Edit what? My idea of editing is starting the video, you guys, and going, okay, let me stop it right there. Let me take a screenshot of that. Let me brighten that. That's my editing job, okay? That's it. And when these voices come on, I can only do what I can do. So I do my best to go through it and transcribe it. I did it with my son. I'll just hit this. Here's how I knew it was my son. I was listening and I was getting the biggest kick, because what I am realizing, and this is just my opinion, please do not take this as gospel. When those sweeps are occurring, there's spirits helping them. There's other people with them when they're telling the story to me. I hear it because they come back and tell stuff. And here's the funny part. Let me make you guys, I hope this makes you guys laugh. I kept hearing, dude, 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 when people were jumping in on these sweeps. This is my son going, dude, like, that's my mom. Don't talk to her about that, dude. Because he doesn't want me to hurt, right? Because he's my
Yeah.
kid. He doesn't want me to know the ugly truth too much. And so, but a couple of things happened, and there are a couple of, right off the top of my head. Towards the end, I heard a Hispanic girl, or a girl that sounded like she was Hispanic, come on and go, they hanged him. And then another woman says one other thing, and I can't remember what she says. And I hear him go, dude, like, dude, babe, I got this. It's okay. I know, But the beauty I'm finding in this is those people are supporting our loved ones on the other side as well. And they're trying to help tell the story. And they're not going to let them get away with any crap where they don't tell. They're going to tell if they don't tell. And so I'm learning that, because that should be sweeping. Well, the interesting thing is, on the little gal that's missing from here, she's not
Yeah.
missing now. Uh, she is a murder victim. But anyways, on hers, as I'm sweeping through, an interesting thing happened. A lot of interesting things happened on that. But I heard colors from I heard a color from different voices. Now, if I'm sweeping and I ask that question and I'm sweeping, how are they giving me that answer in 3 different sweeps if they're not there?
Yeah.
They're there. And so I'll get that. And sometimes I'll get a very long statement. So again, I'm sweeping. How's that happening? They're
Yeah.
manipulating that equipment to get their story told. Make sense?
Yes, it
So
does.
anyway, I hear this color from these people. So kind of how it works for me when I'm trying to investigate, it's you get done and I just give it my best, right? And I do my thing, but I go back and I ponder, and because it's like this. Hey, what about this? What about this? It's like it's poking me. Are you listening? We're talking to you. Are you hearing me? Do you hear this? What about this? So I sit down with a map the other day. I pull up Google. I'm at work, right? This is bugging me. This is bugging me because 3 people said that same color. What's the deal with that? So I go through this area because I think I know what's happened to her. I think because after I get done, you guys, I will sit down then and try to do a session and get them to show me what happened, the questions I'm asking, and see what I see. And I'll write that down. I'll journal that. Okay. Because I feel like I'm human. We don't know how our mind works. We don't know all the ways it processes information. We don't know all those things. And I'm willing to say that I'm human and I'm going to screw this up. But these guys aren't. They're not. They're telling me. I'm trying to keep the human out of that and just go with what they tell me. Okay.
Right.
So I did. I jumped on Google, and here was a cool thing I'm learning. Google has a satellite street view. I knew that, but I didn't realize that if I have it on street view and then I go up, maybe I take my pointer and I go up the street and click on the street, it'll
Mhm.
take me up to the street. I
Right.
didn't know that. So that was great. I learned that. But as I'm going through this area, because I believe I know what happened to her, okay? As I go through this area, I'm looking for this color. And I'm about to get out of the area thinking, well, that was kind of a wash. And I go, well, I'm just going to flip this pointer over here. Boom. I flip the pointer. I'm talking about a color not everybody has. Okay. I don't want to say the color right now, but just trust me. This is not a common color. Okay.
Yep.
I point the pointer and boom, backed up under an awning at a 4-foot fence. I will tell you that at an apartment, which is kind of what I believe. Backed up against the wall is a older vehicle truck, all this color except for a band of it about like this, like that, okay, on the
Yeah.
bottom. I went, holy crap. So then I
Mhm.
go out to the street. It's right at the street where I believe she made it to, and it's right, and I take pictures of this, you guys, because I know it's directly behind where I think she ended up getting taken from, or she got picked up at, or she got lured away from. Okay. So I took 3 pictures. I took that vehicle shot of that apartment. I took the street shot to show where it is in proximity to that street. And then I took a long shot showing from the proximity of that corner down to where the light is, where the store is, where I think she got picked up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Now, I don't believe she died. I don't believe she died there. So here's what happened, you guys. So as I go back then and I sit down and I read her, okay? I notice with me, if it's severe trauma or it's trauma to the head, I feel the trauma, okay? I
Mhm.
felt a very big amount of pain right here and a little bit on this jawline here. But the majority of my pain is right here. And if you look at this big piece of our skull, it's really kind of one piece. All right.
Mm.
This is a secondary. It's
Right.
on its own. Okay. That's why you'll see this jaw is laying by itself a lot of times when this skull's picked up, because this piece, but if you slam into this, your eye orbits here, your eyes directly in front of your brain, you do a lot of damage. You can do a lot of damage to a human being by hitting them there. I feel like this individual was hit so hard that she lost consciousness by this individual. And I think she goes in and out or never comes out of it. And a whole other thing happens and she's moved to another place and a whole nother thing happens. And I don't want to say too much about that, but you can
Right.
see how the brain works. So now keep in mind, I have not seen an update on what the autopsy report said about this person. Okay. Nothing, but I'll tell you this much. When she's found, because this has been big news, when she's
Mhm.
found, she's dismembered, cut up in black bags.
Understood.
Okay.
We probably didn't need to hear that part. Anyway,
Sorry, but
that's okay.
it's important to what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. So now I come back because I'm getting poked. I wonder if there's any updates on her story. So a week or so goes by here, and I put in and I said, "Hey, is there any update on this case?" Comes back, "Oh yeah, here's the update from the coroner's office. Her cause of death is not the dismemberment. Her cause of death is blunt force trauma to her head."
Exactly
Okay,
what you. Yeah.
which is exactly what I feel. So that's how I'm doing things. Whether it's right or wrong, I can't tell you. I do it as best I can as an investigator, and I keep that information, and I'll keep that tidbit written down and that date I saw that, because someday these detectives may decide they can talk to me or ask me a question. But if they don't, they don't. I'm doing the best I can to try and help her. And so periodically I sit down with these people that I'm working with, my son, this other little girl, this little girl. I sit down with them and work with them some more, because today I might hear something I didn't hear the last time, right?
Right.
So that's
Okay.
how I work my investigation. And that's not, those are my, sorry, Julie, those
That's
are my ones where I'm working cases. And then I just go out and I investigate sites, and I am never disappointed.
no, and I love your investigations. Um, are you ready for the next half of the interview?
I don't know. Does it entail talking to people, Julie?
Uh, Actually, it's answering questions.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do
See,
that.
she's good with that. She's good with that.
Don't
And
scare me.
she's a great reader that asks you questions. And yeah, but we're going to take a little bit of break. Usually I do 2 minutes, but I think just a minute. Now, if you need 2 minutes to get water or take a rest stop, pit stop,
I think we're
uh,
okay. Let's
we'll
go.
get, okay. You ready to
Okay,
go without break?
sure.
Okay. So, Victor, you were the first one in. Yes, I can go back and show all of um, your chats. I did want to pull this one up because this is a very important when you're pulling a high priestess card for the collective, and Miss Shawn is here talking to us about her intuitive, her the mysteries and spiritual knowledge and all that. To me, it's very apropos that that's the one you pull for today.
Wow.
So, and Victor, you're the first one up, and Victor can we can get into his whole life story here, but um, what is your question for the day? Okay, and I did include on the description her email address and her website address, so you guys can contact her through that, and that way we can keep these quick reads. Okay, hi Katie. Hi Katie Newkirk. Been listening. Yeah,
Hi,
okay.
Katie.
And I've got you on the list now, so that's good. So, actually, I've got Brendan first. Brenda, are you still here? I know Victor is here. So, Victor, what kind of question do you have? And I've got you on, Katie. So, and you said yes, Victor, but you didn't say what your question is. Or was that yes to the high priestess? For today, question for today is what will the guides and Grandma Helen like to say to me?
Hmm. Okay, Victor, I just go with the first things that I get. I kind of caught a vision of a woman talking to me, and I feel like she wants you to know something. She wants you to know, she wants you to not doubt yourself. You, even though you're very strong and you come across very confident, I think there's something in you that she's concerned with. So I'm going to just say it. Do not underestimate yourself, Victor. Do not, and you don't have to even say it to people if this makes sense. You don't have to tell everybody how great you are. You are great, Victor. Don't you forget that. And I feel like she's wanting you to just continue to do what you do. She sees what you're doing, and she's very out of love. She loves you to death, and you are part of her. And so I feel like maybe she was a lot like you in some ways, but she wants you to just hone in on being at peace with who you are, Victor. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Okay,
And may I, Julie, may I answer that question right there?
which one?
I'm actually a Choctaw. I'm out of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. I was able to put my family back together in 2016. And so my entire family from the time we are here until we die will be Choctaw. And my mother was adopted, and I had wonderful grandparents, but we are from the Choctaw Nation.
Yeah. And I was trying to get you to say you are a what because you're a what? Because that was your Choctaw was a big deal for that book.
It was. It
And
was.
so I was
Yeah,
hoping you,
I'm very protective of it in a
yeah,
lot of ways, to be under, you know what I'm saying? hold that close to my heart because, even who I am, sometimes you're not enough of this to be considered okay by that. And you're not enough of this. And you know what, you guys, I did a post here recently, if I may, real quick, that I said, so what do, you guys? Do I go to Africa and I take away my Senegal roots? Do I not claim them anymore? Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe I take the Spain guys off my, I don't claim them anymore. Or maybe I take my Irish people off, or maybe I take no,
No.
there's not one drop of blood from all over this world that's not in every single living one of us. Because if we are truly from a believer, from a believer standpoint, if we are from one,
We are one.
guess what? We're one. We're not a multiple of all. We're all one. So the
Yes.
multiple really is a one. Think about that.
Yeah. And these are from Victor real quick. And we'll go on to Brenda too and talk a little bit more about what she has. Okay.
That's great. Great, Victor.
Okay. So was there anything else on Brenda about I'm so glad that you're both, and now you get to meet. So Brenda, have you been on, were you in the psychic squad one of the days that Shawn made it to it? I don't remember, but she's coming back in. Oh, what is it? I've felt the need to move to Oklahoma to immerse myself in the culture.
A couple of things, Brenda. So I speak Spanish. It's not great. And I speak English, of course. And here's my Choctaw. Are you ready? Halito is a greeting and Yakoke is the end of the greeting. There you go. That's what I'm working on. Brenda, I wanted to tell you, if you go to the Choctaw Nation and you go up to their resources, you will find a whole bunch of things on our culture. I started beading to learn more about our culture. I want to make clay pots someday in the way they did it, the traditional way they did it, when I am able to do that. But again, that's about balance. But if you go there, it's a great place to start. And I'm with you. I'm always kind of looking at property in Oklahoma just in case I need to go set my little teepee up there or something, right? So I agree.
Yeah. Oh, I was and bought.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Cool. And she went there just to see a little bit more about you, and she got that information off
That's
the book
great.
cover.
So
So
sorry.
that's great. Yeah.
I always forget that part a little bit, and like I said, I'm kind of protective of it. So I protect that. It's something that took me years to develop for my mom because she was adopted and I didn't want to hurt my grandparents. I never wanted them to feel that we didn't they're 100% our grandparents. We love them to death, and I have some relatives that now they know I exist. They don't want us in their life. They don't want to acknowledge us. And then I have other relatives who have opened up to that. So I'm very, again, it goes back to this thing. I just don't worry about it. It's just noise. I'm doing the best I can. So
To the Culture Center in Durant. It's awesome.
I want to do that one of these days. I do. It's on my list.
Hey, you guys should meet up over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Brenda's a great lady. She really is a beautiful soul.
Okay.
And a beautiful one, because we're all one, right?
Yes, a beautiful one.
Yeah. And let's see. Rosalind, are you still here, Rosalind? If not, Harley's next, then Tina, then Kevin, then Katie. And if anybody's watching on my personal Facebook, Susan or Jamie, if you want a reading, please let me know. Okay, Rosalind, are you here? I know that that Harley is here. So did you have a specific question? And did I skip it? Because I got this right away. Also, Harley said she talked to you after one of the psychic squads.
Oh, that's great. And Harley, I'm terrible with names and I'm terrible. I have to see you a lot in order to remember. I had to list Julie in my phone as Julie from class. So I know it's Julie I'm talking to. And I know it's Julie Karen, but I can't remember it.
Is doing cold cases something I may be doing in my future or a message from the other side? Thank you.
Thanks, Harley. Give me just a second. So you know what, Harley? Let me just say it like this, and I would take this from the other side, anyways. Okay, because here's how I feel about this. If you have a desire, if you have something in you that wants to tell another story, then yes, you're going to do cold cases. And I'm not just saying that because or you should do cold cases. Does that make sense? Because I believe when you do that, then you're manifesting, right? We're putting it out there, and your team's grabbing that. When I go someplace, I tell my team, "Hey, I'm headed here to just investigate this and this. Would you let their team know so that when I get there, I do okay?" So my point is, when you do that, Harley, when you do that, you're putting everybody on notice that this is of interest to you. And just like me, I feel like I've been doing this my whole life on some, as a police officer. I love that kind of stuff. I like to get to the bottom of things. Did I ever think I would do it for folks on the other side? Didn't think I'd have to do it for my own child, right? But but I know that if you put it out there, they're with you. So I think you should take that from the other side. That's not me. They're trying to reinforce for you, Harley. Tell us what you want us to do, Harley. We'll help you. Okay? Trust them. Trust yourself.
And I want to go to the fact that Harley is an actress. So to me, she wants to not reenact, but she wants to bring to life the story of the people in these cold cases. That's what I'm
110%.
feeling.
Mm-hmm. And you
Well,
know what, Harley? That's awesome. That's awesome. That I agree with Julie on that 100% for you. So you have to, in order, listen, I feel these people's, I feel what they're going through. The thing that's so important to me is to try to tell the story at some point when I can. And because some of these are open, I don't want to step on PD's feet, right? So I'm careful about what I say. But you're right. Our job is to get it out, to share it as best we can, right? Based on what they're saying. So let yourself go, let your team know, and let yourself do what you're going to evolve into doing. Okay.
and I think the fact that she's an actress and that you were a detective can help both of you because you can write in the journal what happened. And then when the cold case has been cleared and prosecuted, then Harley, you can take over and make a story about it, whether it's a movie or just, I mean, you do the writing, she does the screenplay. I mean, it can work.
Oh, so it could. It totally could. And Julie, just so you know, police officers are kind of picky about if you call me a detective and somebody sees that she was never a detective, she was just a beat cop. Well, I want you to know, I was just a beat cop, and I'm real proud of it. Okay,
Yeah, and
never a
I mean,
detective.
but
I do my kind of detective work now.
now
But
you're the
somebody would
detective
be offended.
now.
Oh my God, if I called myself that. Oh, okay. So
You're
just know I
a
was just a beat cop.
spiritual detective. How's that?
Yep, and I loved what I did. So.
Yeah. I didn't mean that you were the
No, 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 no.
detective
I
from
got
the
you.
police
I'm just
force.
telling you because somebody will come back and go, she was never, oh, I worked with her. She was
Oh, I
never.
know, I know, I know.
Again, we got this going on.
She goes out and investigates now. Okay,
There you
people.
go. Yeah, and I did.
Investigator. Okay.
And right. And I'm real proud of what I do. So,
Yeah. Okay. And Tina, I know this is Tina Fitzgerald, not
okay.
Tina, not Tina Escoto. So this is her question.
Tina, what was your husband's name? Do you mind sharing that, first of all?
And first name is fine. Okay.
Okay. Hang on just a second.
Snoopy. That's the name.
You know, Tina, the first thing that I'm getting, that I think you are having a, I think you're trying to make a decision about something important for you that would have been great to have your spouse there with you. And I think that what he's coming through and telling or leaving me to feel like is that you have the confidence to make this decision, and he supports you in the decision that you make. And I'm not sure exactly what that is, but apparently you're in the process of thinking about something very hard. So he supports you in whatever that is. And I think for you that the takeaway from that is the love you guys had. He's always with you. So just know that in anything you're doing, he does support what you do. And he's still with you. And so whatever that decision is right now, whatever you choose, I know that sounds generic, and I'm sorry, I can't evidence base that for you, but I am telling you that he supports you 110% on that. Okay. So I'll leave that with you and let you figure that one out.
No. Yeah. Other ones on here. Kevin. Kevin, what question? Kevin is from Upper New York, Upper State New York. I've seen enough, but
Thank you. Well, of course, I'm the best cop. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Police work is, if you think back on it, you guys, 100 years ago, they literally would come into a crime scene, and then maybe reporters would show up to write for the newspaper, and they'd come on in and let them in, and they'd walk around the body. Maybe they wanted to watch the guy had, because hey, he wasn't going to need it anymore, and they'd take that, and maybe they'd take his shoes because it was cold and they need a new pair of shoes. That's how crime scenes used to be. So my
oh
point
my
is,
gosh.
police work has evolved immensely from where it came, because it became very important to tell the story from. Isn't it interesting when we think about that? Think about this. I'm not kidding. They'd come into a fire scene and they'd walk all through the fire scene and leave their prints. And the things that used to occur don't occur anymore, because even in death, even in police work, if you think about it forensically, are they not trying to tell the story from the other side in their own way?
Yeah.
So if we allow people to taint the evidence, then we taint the story. So you're exactly right. And I think police officers always want to, the best cop's always the best detective. You know that? Come on.
You understand enough. Okay. And he
Oh
wants to
yeah.
know anything that comes forth. He did it in two different things. So,
Well, you know what's funny, Kevin? Because for you, I just instantly got a sense that you were helping me today in a way. I have a brother who, actually, I call him brother sister, because he had some things going on in his life, and that's totally okay. And his name was Kevin. And unfortunately, he went missing several years ago. He didn't go missing, you guys. He left. He walked away and went and did his life. And all we asked for him was that he have happiness doing his life. And he did. And but unfortunately, he passed away in February this year, and I didn't know it. So we never got to mend the fence, even though I would, I'd sleuth under the radar, and I'd send out little emails and see if I could get somebody to return, because I did want to talk to my brother's sister, right? And so, Kevin, I think I just have a lot of joy in my heart for you. I feel like you're probably a really, you have a magnetism is what I'm getting, and I think it's him, reinforcing for you that your name is special and you're a special person. So what I get for you is that you just keep being your joyous, good self, and have that little bit of sarcasm, because, with the detective thing and all that, have that's your humor, and enjoy that and use it in your life. Okay. And I thank you for that. And thank you for reminding me of my brother's sister today.
yeah.
That's right. And Kevin was a solid.
My financial advisor is named Kevin too, and he's very solid.
Yeah, there you go. I love the name. I have another brother too, and he's solid too. But I miss this one because we didn't get him in those fences. But that wasn't our path. It wasn't our path here. So I
Yeah.
tried. It just wasn't going to happen.
And if I get a second to pull up your picture, I'm going to show it to her because I think
Okay.
she'll really appreciate it, Kevin.
Oh,
Anyway, let's see. Yeah, and Katie is here too. Good. Okay, who was after? It was Katie after Kevin. Okay, so Katie, do you have a question?
hi, Katie.
Forgot to say hi. Yeah, we probably should, I really appreciate you coming in and saying hi because when you guys don't chat, we can't tell who's all here. Oh, and Sherry Burris. Hello, Sherry. So if you guys would like a reading, please jot down now so that we can get that in. And while you're reading, Katie, hopefully we can get a question in. Um, then I will be working on Kevin's picture.
Okay.
Katie, do you have a question? Or do you want highest, greatest? What would you like?
Sorry about the nose, you guys. Darn allergies.
No question. So just highest,
That's okay,
greatest?
Katie.
Okay. There it is. So highest and greatest good for Katie, is she?
Oh gosh.
Why isn't it moving? Oh,
Katie, for you, what I'm going to say is just from a psychic side is that
she wants
is
guidance.
about is balance. You have to have balance, okay? So while you're striving for that highest and greatest good, there will be some balance in there that you're going to have to do. So be willing to, I would recommend taking time when you're integrating, because to reach your high, I feel like you have to have a plan, a little bit of a plan to get there, okay? Not extreme, because I'm not an extreme planner, but a plan, and jot that down, and then figure out the balancing act to allow that to occur daily, because I think we should be reaching for our highest and greatest good on the daily, all right? To be the best we can be, all right? So I recommend doing that, and I recommend creating, be willing to take the time sometimes to just write down words that come to your mind that will also help trigger some things for you and help you get that all figured out and come up with that. All right. I I see you on a mountain peak, literally. So I think the sky's the limit for you, if there is a limit, and that you can do what you're trying to do, but definitely going to have that balance and set the parameter. Make sense? Julie, I lost you.
Sorry, I
Oh,
put a mute because I was too, yeah. Um, Bonnie is in the house, so welcome in, Bonnie. And Sherry Burris would like um, a reading. I'm waiting for her question to see what she would like. But in the meantime, what I promised. Now, the one with
oh.
the long hair that's closest to you is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I love that. And you've got a horse.
Well, actually, this picture was taken at the horse sanctuary in Kentucky for those of racehorses.
Oh, I love this. I love that picture. What a sweet soul. I love the tongue. Thank you for sharing that. That's great.
I just thought anytime somebody, you said your brother sister, so I just wanted to show you
Yeah.
how
Oh,
close
yeah,
Kevin
that's
is to that.
great. That's totally cool. I think that's
And
great. Yeah, his name was Kevin, but he also went by Linda, Kevin Linda. So I just call him brother sister.
yeah.
That's who I know him as, because it was literally it's
Oh,
been 30 years, you guys, 30 plus years.
and
So
Kevin says he's my spirit animal.
oh, that's great. You
And
couldn't have it better.
yeah, you can't hear who, Katie. You couldn't hear me, or you couldn't hear. Okay, she's good. Okay, what was I going to say? I was sticking at it. Uh,
Yeah.
and Kevin says it's not my horse, but spirit animal.
Spirit. Right.
And I did want to mention that it is very synchronized that you met Tina, because you had a horse that was your best friend and supported you, and you knew that horse was healing you as much as it could way back when.
You know what, you guys, I would stand out with that horse, and if you wanted to ride, you had to saddle him yourself, right? Big old horse. I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. And before my family blew up, and we were on a farm, and I'd go out there, and you have to clean your horse. You want to clean your horse's hose good every time you ride him, so that you don't put a stone in there, because a lame horse is a bad deal. And he would lean his big old butt on me when I was cleaning his back hose, and I'd have to take my little tiny arm and go, dagger, dagger, get off me. You're crunching me. I clean his hose out, and we'd ride down into the river. Him and I'd just go riding into the river bottom. But he knew all my deepest, darkest secrets, and he took good care of me. And I don't know what happened to him, because my family blew up. And, but I swear he's around sometimes, because I think about him still. I miss him.
Yeah. And Harley and Kevin, can you get a hold of KK? And I was thinking of KK, and she comes in.
Oh,
So KK is our resident horse person because she
okay.
has five.
Woo,
But
woo,
let's go
woo.
back to Sherry Burris and KK, if you'd like a reading. Sherry Burris wants to know whatever spirit brings. Okay.
Say that again.
Whatever spirit brings. That's what Sherry Burris would like to know.
Okay, Sherry, give me just a second. You take a little hit of. I know I'm not supposed to drink coffee. That's one of those no-nos too, but I like coffee. So. Sherry, the thing that's interesting is I just got some. Best way to say it is a feeling of somebody trying to kind of sit on my chest, not real hard, but sitting on me. So I feel like you're holding back on something. I think that's trying to tell me you're holding back on something right now, and I want you to let go of it. It's not serving you. It's not serving your purpose. Okay, so I think that's what Spirit is trying to share with me here. So whatever that is, just let go. Take a deep breath. Take several deep breaths for me, would you? And let's get you on track, and know that you're heading down the right pathway, but don't hold it in. It's not helping you, not serving you.
Okay. Got that, Sherry? Hope that helps. Um, and KK, what was your question for the day?
Okay.
Now is that little one? I know you've told me many times. It's either little one or girly in that picture. She has a little horse. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a horse on her little thing. So
Oh,
anyway.
his silver charm, he vibrates the horse call.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Kevin.
great.
Yeah. Silver charm. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
bat signal. Yeah, to KK, it's a bat signal. That's true. Hi, Michael Riley. Welcome in. Hey, if you have a question, Michael. Yes, little one. So the one in her picture is little one. Yeah. Okay. So what's your question now? She was on Monday. We have a Monday night class because we're practicing mediumship for a gallery mediumship that we'll be doing on Zoom for, yeah, professionally. So we are working on it.
Okay.
And I feel bad not going to Tina's class, but a lot more has been brought to us because of this
Well,
small group.
you know what, Julie? I think Tina is so wonderful to do what she does, and I think that Tina's expectation is. I think the greatest gift that you give Tina is validation that something she started for you has taken off and flourished. It's like planting a beautiful plant
Yep.
in a garden and watching it stay alive and grow. It doesn't die. It doesn't die out. It continues on, and I think she expects that. Because
Yep.
wherever you guys go to, somebody's going to come to you and somebody new is going to come to her that needs her, you know? So I don't think you should feel like that. And I don't, I know Tina probably misses us as we flits off, but I think we go back, we end up back
Oh
in,
yeah.
or, you know,
Yep.
once in a while I see Scott come walking in the room and I see you and, you know, so we're there. So I think it's great.
Yep. Okay. Here we go.
Wow. KK, I see the potential for income. Okay. Because I struggle with this too. I'm going to tell you, getting those videos out there is great. I have Are you guys ready for this? I hope it'll change after today. On my YouTube channels, I have 11 followers and I've been on it for a couple years, you know. And I asked for people to please hit the button. I think it's the heart, you guys. It's a heart on mine. I didn't do the little subscribe for a button, but I'm giving you more from my gut than anything right now on that. So please take it for a grain of salt. You keep putting your videos out there. You keep doing it. You don't know exactly what it's going to take that's going to strike that button and have it take off, right? And I say that out of love and kindness because I don't either. I don't either. KK. I am, again, my editing technique sucks. I put out videos as best I can. I have a beautiful digital camera I take out to try and use, and I usually put it down and use my cell phone and get some of my best film from my cell phone. You know, I mean, I am right there with you in that respect, but I don't quit. So spirit, gut, psychic, all of it says don't quit. Keep doing what you're doing. We don't know what that niche is going to be for all of us. Just like Julie's doing really awesome. I'm so thankful that she had me on today. It's a beautiful thing. So please don't quit. That's my helpful hint to you. I've been making videos of some kind since about 2016, I think it was, where I paint, I talk native stuff, I talk English stuff, I talk whatever stuff. And I still don't have huge followings yet, but I don't worry about it. I keep doing it because I know that apparently it's important to me and this is important to you. Do not give up on it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry if they come or not. We build it, they'll come. Eventually they're going to come. Something's going to happen. So keep going.
Yeah. And Sherry has, this was her response. Yes, definitely clarified some
There
things.
you go. Perfect. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Sherry. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah. And when I decided to do it on the 26th, I know we've got Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. I thought maybe a lot of people wouldn't be here to watch, but it is my granddaughter's birthday. So I wanted to make sure I was here and acknowledge her and her contribution to the world. She brought joy to everyone she met. And I know your son passed. And so to me, you were the best person to have on this day because you've been through a lot and your waves of grief inspire me to keep going. And yeah,
Julie,
and
what's her name?
her name is Abby.
Can I ask something of all of you right this minute? let's take a minute. We won't be able to hear each other, but you guys can. I love to sing. So I would like to offer Abby a happy birthday song today. Can we do that? Can you guys help me wherever you're at? Let's do it. We're going to do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. It's okay, Julie. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Happy birthday, dear
you.
Abby. Happy birthday to you. And many more, little girl. Many more.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
all for helping.
you. Yeah. Yep. And
And it's okay.
I know it's very joyous that she was even in my life,
There you go.
but it is, we're grieving the body. We're not
Yes.
grieving the soul.
And Julie,
Yes.
she's not a was in your life. She is in your
Is in
life.
my life. Yeah. Her soul is in my
She
life.
is in your life.
Her body is no longer, but
Right.
her soul is lasts
The
forever.
glove has come off, but that big beautiful ball of energy I tell you we all are is still
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
Okay.
And some days are tougher than others. And like you said, even in the middle of nothing, you're fine, you're smiling and all, a tear will drop. So,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness. Okay, Brittany Kemper. Yep. Happy
Hi, Miss
Thanksgiving.
Brittany.
Okay, you get that taken care of. Okay, we have a time for a little more. So, oh hi, hi Sherry. Sherry came in on YouTube, so she's not on my personal page anymore. Um, Brittany, did you want a reading real quick? Because we have a couple more minutes. Happy birthday, Abby. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
She's she's finally a teenager in this
There you
life.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And she's doing great work. Julie, I think the thing we have to realize about, especially about these babies that leave us young, is they have such a higher calling. They weren't meant they were not meant to be here. They have a much, even this little girl that was so brutally taken, she has a higher calling. She's not supposed to be here. How she went out really is, you guys, I don't know about what you guys think, but to me, we don't know how we're going to leave this earth. I'd love to go to sleep and not wake up. Okay. But that may not be what God has in mind. And so the brutality of some of the ways that we leave this earth, I don't believe that when it's a brutal kind of thing, or when it's a painful or you know, it's not a calm, peaceful way to leave. They're not alone.
Yeah.
Somebody comes with them. Somebody comes to them. My mama, she's just turned 90 on Saturday, and she tells me quite often, because my mama's gifted, but my mama just is a little afraid of it, so she stays away from it. My big brother is gifted, but he don't like to deal with it too much because he says his is in visions. When he gets a bad feeling, it usually means somebody's going to pass. And so he doesn't like to really deal with it. But for me, it's different. And I feel I have responsibility, a responsibility to myself and to you and to others to try to help. Okay. Because you know what, you guys, I've been in jobs and I've been helping my whole life. I go to public service and work in public service all the time, even when I'm a server, right? I veer towards that. So for me, I can't walk away from this. I wouldn't be able to live with myself too well if I did.
Yeah. We'll get back to Brittany and uh, Sherry. I didn't realize that your son died passed 8 years ago from the same way Sean's son passed as well. Okay, any specific question, Brittany? Or highest and greatest good? And please remember,
So sorry,
everyone.
Sherry.
Yeah, 3
Oh, that's
years.
great. Can you put it up here? Can we see it? Can you shoot that
She
to
would
Julie?
have to
Maybe.
email it to me, and I could.
Can you
Well,
email that, Sherry? Or send it to me later or something. I'd
yeah,
love to, if you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. But my heart goes out to you. You know, that is just a wound that it never closes. So we have to learn how to live in the new norm. So,
and Don is in the house, and
hey, Don, they're
I
making me
don't.
cry over here, Don.
Yep, we're all do that. Okay, I'm going to put this up because Don is in, and I have to show something about Don real quick, just because he's here. And okay, no, ma'am, I'm open for anything. So Brittany, open for anything.
Okay.
And I have to show this real quick for
I saw
everybody.
that. Good job, Don. I ran into, guess what? I was coming out of J.C. Penney's and ran right into Susan and said, Susan. And she looked at me and she goes, Shawn, we just wrote a book. So I'm proud
Oh,
of you
was
guys.
that on Sunday?
Yeah, trying to take care of that 90-year-old girl.
I had seen her on Sunday, and she said she was going to JC Penney's
Yeah.
afterwards.
I ran right into her. You know, the thing I was going to tell you is my mama has people in her apartment all the time, and she'll call me sometimes because my mom's pretty lucid. She still drives, and she's getting ready to give those keys up. But she will tell me, you know, so and so sitting in a chair, and so and so. How come they're so noisy? And I said, Mama, they're just checking on you. It's okay. You know, they come in, they're around us. So I know
Yeah.
110. And, you know, babies see them. And I think these older folks, the closer they're getting to the other side, they see them a lot because they're checking on them. And they check on us. We're just so busy with this all day long that we miss them a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
So just, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing. We just don't realize that energy is all around us all the time somewhere. We just can't always hear it because of all this stuff.
Okay. So now it's Brittany Kemper.
Okay, Brittany, give me just a second. Okay, Brittany, I just go with the first thing that comes. So I just want you to know this. There's something about you in arts and crafts or craftsies. I don't know if you're trying to, if you're considering or you have a desire or you would like to produce an Etsy page or have an Etsy page of some kind or some kind of craft page. But I feel like there's something out there for you about that. So listen, if you're not doing the thing you think you want to do, I want you to start doing that. Start exploring that territory and working with it. And don't be afraid to put it out there. If I waited to put out my book, it wouldn't be out yet. It wouldn't be out in 10 years. That's why I had to go back, you guys, and pay $300 because I self-edited my book. Here's what I learned about that. When you send it to your aunt and your mom and they read it, they don't see your mistakes. That's how perfect you are. However, when you finally get time to sit down and read through it for the fourth time, you see all your mistake and you think, oh my God, that's out in society right now. So I paid $300 to go in and edit. I said, did y'all read the book? Yeah, we read it. I said, didn't you see the whole page? It had about 42 errors on it. No, it was a great book because our mind wants it to, our mind will fill in the words. Does that make sense? So the one thing I will do is I will be sending my book to Don one of these days and asking him to make sure it's readable and paying him to do so, because when you don't, sometimes you have to go back and pay anyways to get somebody to do it. Okay. So Brittany, for you, do that. Do what you're thinking about doing. Stop letting things hold you back. Okay. And again, keep balance because you have to. I don't know what your age is. If you got family, we all have families. Balance. It's about balance. But you go do that. Okay. Hope that helps.
Okay, I just got that from Sherry, and I got to share it on my.
Good for you, Sherry. You go get him, Tiger.
What? Yeah, that she's a visitation and mediumship a number of years ago. And why can't I pull this up? Ah,
Don, I do remember that. I do. You know who just read him too on Monday? He came through. I guess he blended with her. Is what she was telling me was it was Rachel. She had a really intense moment with him, and we're going to explore that more. So I thought that was interesting. I do remember.
and if I don't have time, let's see, I got a couple minutes. Ah, all right. I'm pulling
Don,
it
you know what? Do
up.
you remember I read your friends in England? That was great too for me. I had such a great time with them and smelling the bread and the stuff from that. That was so cool. Anyway, sorry. I
No, you're
digress.
good. Please. I need a couple more minutes to get this. I'm saving the picture now. Let's see.
Yeah, let me just jump in here for a minute too on my people who want to investigate. We that's really what we all are, right? We are all. I'm confused about that. I haven't been looking to. I'm not crafty. Maybe I need to. Oh, maybe so, Brittany. I really totally. I go with the first thing I see, whether it's right or wrong, right? So, because I want to never. I don't like my human brain to get in there and mess up what I'm hearing. So I feel like there's something to that for you. And maybe I'm reading crafty, and maybe for Etsy, it could be maybe you do beautiful writings. Maybe your gift is to write in a beautiful way and post it out there like that and sell those. Do thoughts, or I don't know, just so don't take craft literally like you got to go get sequins and glue and yeah, don't take it like that. Open that up so you can explore that. Does that make sense? But I feel like you're kind of wanting to delve out into that kind of territory. I'll leave it like that for you. Okay.
And I
Yeah, it
hope
was
this,
great. Go ahead.
Sherry, I hope this comes up well, because I never know which directions it's going to come up. So here we go.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Wow. Yes.
it's amazing.
You know what's funny? I see now for me, I see a few people with him. There's a
Yeah,
few here. There's not just him. This is wonderful. It's beautiful. They were all helping him celebrate that. That's what I'm telling you. They come together. They're
yeah,
hanging together. Okay.
yeah.
So
I've
that's
seen that too.
great.
And
Beautiful.
that means you're also a medium when it comes to photography,
Absolutely.
because that's one thing that Tina told me when I brought in um, the picture I called Heavenly Host, which shows the full moon and many entities that were up there. There were so many faces in those clouds
Sherry,
and all. So,
Sherry,
yeah.
can I just ask is now listen, I see a few things, a few what I would call people in here for me. And then I see him, he's standing there at the bar, it looks like. Is that right? Is that who we're looking at right here? The very clear young man? Are you able to answer that?
She will. It takes a. I mean, there's a little
Okay.
bit of
But
delay.
then I am also below him. I see, uh, let's see, my picture is in front of the thing, so I can't see what anybody's saying right now, Julie. But
Yeah,
um,
I'm working.
I am actually seeing another young man down here in one corner, and I'm seeing somebody up above. I do realize there are reflections, but you guys, when I see stuff for me, like even though there's the balloons are reflecting on some of this stuff, there's a certain thing that I capture, and one of the things I'm seeing more and more are colors. Um, I just went out and I went out one day because I hadn't had any, I needed to do some homework, right? So I went out to a ghost town, and it's a popular one. And lo and behold, you guys, I caught at least I have a lot of, that's on the website, but what I noticed is as I was looking and just taking my videos, my hunt and peck videos, that I was seeing layovers of spirit on top of people walking. It was
Yeah.
clearly that to me. And so I'm beginning to see more and more color and see it with my eyes, if that makes sense. So when I look at these videos, that's why I'm telling you, I can be looking at a picture that you're looking at and you're going to tell me there's nothing in that picture. And I'm going to tell you, yes, there is.
Yeah.
And then when I get it to a certain place, I'm going to be able to show you something that is definitely there. Okay. Makes sense? That's a great capture. Thank you so much for
Yes, it
sharing.
is very good. Yeah,
And
I'm
again, I'm
loving
sorry for your loss, but he's not gone, clearly.
it. Yeah.
They're hanging with us, baby.
And Victor sees a child standing there as well. And we were in Gleason, Arizona for Halloween. Oh,
Wow.
wow. I've never been to Gleason, Arizona. Where is that? I mean, I've been a lot of places in Arizona, but I've never heard of that one.
Oh, that is just a great capture right there. It's beautiful with all those souls. That's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it. It was a very happy time for them. So I appreciate that. And thank you for sharing that. Those are the things that give you joy when they still find joy in our joy. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So
Thank you guys for coming in today. I really appreciate you coming in, Shawn.
thank you. Thanks for having
Especially
me, Julie.
today.
Thank you all for listening to me and letting me ramble. I appreciate it.
It is what it was supposed to be, and we appreciate all these different folks for coming in. And I'm sure there was other entities here too that we're not seeing directly. Here's a photo. Okay. And you have her information. Please, I'm asking this for myself too, for communication and connections on YouTube, but Sage Heart Soul. Yeah.
Soul.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys
And
could hit
also
my
on
YouTube.
YouTube. On
Yeah,
YouTube.
I'd love to get some more followers. I've had 11 now for a couple years. I'd really like to see it go to 12 or 13. Okay. But if it can't, it can't. It's okay.
And I think I'm there on
Okay.
YouTube because I know I've hit it a couple times. But
Okay.
please go on and check that out. And thank you. There will be no readings tomorrow or Friday from Just Spiritually Speaking group, and not on Saturday. And I heard a yes for Sunday, Psychic Sunday. So they'll be back then. We weren't able to come Tuesday because Claudine was very under the weather. We won't get into that, but please send her love, healing, and some prayers. Also, we will be doing one more Tuesday this year. I will be doing one more Wednesday with two young authors. These two
Woohoo!
will be next Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, when I send out some commercials this week, please forward that, share that with anybody and everybody so we can get a lot of people in. And please subscribe to everybody. The more people we have coming in, the more time we'll be able to um, stay on and keep providing these stories and these people for you to meet.
Well, and it's just wonderful for us to all be able to support each other, you guys. So listen, I've got to get to work and go do my job now. Love you guys. Be safe out there. Watch your babies. It only takes a second for someone to devastate your life. Take care. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you guys. Have a good one.